Okay, so immediate access course, automatically enrolled, means you're automatically charged the $68. If you want to opt out, that means that you're not going to be charged. However, you're going to have to somewhere else find the book. I am going to be going closely, matching closely with the book. Um, and the online service, is pretty helpful. You could get this ebook. You can, find anything you want very quickly. Uh, and it has the homework problems in there already. I've made a separate thing for people who don't want to do or maybe don't have access to the homework service. I'll show you that on Canvas in a bit. But you could get through the semester without a book, but I'd say it's a very helpful resource. Also seeing that this is going to be such a short session, uh, I would say it's a good deal to already have it. Okay, so here's the information a bit more. There's going to be online homework if you don't have access to that, or for some reason you don't have internet for a week or so. I'm pretty much copying the same exact questions that are on this online place, and I'm putting them on a packet. So they're the same exact problems, but you could take the ones that I've copied. They're exact copies, and you could print it out and you could do it all on paper. And you could do either one. Okay, so there's doing that. There's also taking notes. I'm going to be relying heavily on notes every session. We'll start the day, and it'll just be me frantically writing out notes for an hour, or about 40 minutes, and then the rest of the time will probably be an example, or some form of examples. So let's say pen, paper, scientific calculator, calculator for homework, and calculator for quizzes and exams. I don't really have a preference on which one. I think just a basic scientific calculator will be fine, as long as it has trigonometry functions on it. Okay, so here are some specifics of the chapters that we're going through. Measurements and vectors, motion, 1, 2, and 3 dimensions, Newton's law, working kinetic energy. Pretty much each of these topics is a whole chapter by itself, and it would span a few months. Typically we're going to have to be covering 2 chapters a week. That means we're going to be going through a lot of material, and I can't really give a lot of homework on all of these, so I'm going to be very careful picking problems. It's up to you guys to try to keep with the pace, sort of with me. I'm going to try my best to make it not overwhelming. Okay, time management, very much so. Proper time management. Okay, so let's go down to this section. Homework is worth 20% at the final, your final grade. Quizzes are worth 50% and exams 30%. This might look a little odd, and something to keep in mind, there's going to be about 6 homeworks. So I believe it's around 3% per homework of your final grade will be on each homework. And there's going to be 4 quizzes. I believe that comes out to around 12%. And there's only going to be 2 exams. I'm going to try my best to mimic a full semester's worth. So quizzes and exams, that's just something that I call it. You could think of the exams as just like another quiz on the previous topics. It's not going to be significantly longer. It's just going to be another thing that's covering the same stuff. Okay, so homework, there's going to be 1 homework assignment given each week. That's where there's only 6. And it's covering 2 chapters. And you treat your homework as something to study for these quizzes. For quizzes, 2 exams, yes. Now here's something that's, I have right here, both quizzes and exams will be assigned on Fridays. So this is something that I was thinking about, this weekend, and I would need a vote from everyone, or everyone's opinion on this. Let's see how many people are here. 7. So we're missing 1. One person's not going to get their vote. Okay, so currently I have quizzes all on Friday, quizzes and exams on Fridays. You take a look at that. So that means we, including today, we're going to take notes, take notes, take notes, take notes. And hopefully you're working on the homework also, and then a quiz on that material. Next week, take notes, take notes, take notes, take notes, then a quiz. So my idea that I got this weekend was, would you rather have a quiz right here on Friday, or would you want the quiz the following week on Monday? So that way you have the weekend to sort of review and also do the homework. So would you want more time, but then you have to work on the weekend? Or would you guys rather have your weekends free? So I'm going to go like this. Maybe I'll make a poll. And since there is an odd number,
will that quiz be like during like at 8 a.m. or could we just take it at any time on Friday?
Right. So these quizzes and exams are going to be, I'm thinking during the time. I need to sort of keep the time relatively short. Okay, so keep in mind, if you have it on Friday, you have less time to work on your homework, less time to study for the, quiz and stuff. The flip side is if you have it on Monday, you have more time to study, more time to work on your homework. However, that means your weekend is kind of busy. So I'm going to go like that. Oop. Okay, does everyone see there it is. If you look down at the bottom where it says polls, there's a question that I have added. Since there's an odd number of people, it should go. Okay. All right, very significant Monday. So already appears to have won. I will move the dates. I'll redo the schedule for Monday. So your homeworks are going to be due on Mondays, and the quizzes and all of the, big work is going to be due on Monday. Let me this. There we go. So I will put up a new schedule later today. Then the rest of the syllabus is just sort of official business makeup policy. We're going to be going too quick for any makeup work. If you have an official reason, you go to the hospital, you are doing something official, jury duty, anything like that, you can then get some makeup work for homework or exams, quizzes. Like that's when it's documented. Otherwise, I forgot to do it. I'm having car trouble. Car trouble is not really an issue for class, but I'm just didn't feel like doing it or something like that. I need a documented reason. Okay, adding dropping. I think we're all good. Honor code. Don't cheat. I don't think there's too much chance of cheating. I'll just go like this. That's okay. Cheating, plagiarism, and copyrights. I may change the schedule in here later, depending on how the course goes. And the thing I was going to say at the very beginning about the class time. So 8 a.m. to 9:15. That is when I will be here doing the class, but I am not going to require attendance. Okay, so I will record each session and I will post the recordings when I finish. So around 9:30 or so, I'll work on getting this video up. But I'm not requiring attendance for this session. I know it's hard waking up this early. I had a hard time getting up this early. But I will be here recording these sessions. If you have a question during my notes, you can ask them. You could get your question in the video. Maybe it's going to help everyone out. If you feel that you can do the work on your own and just go off of the videos, that is perfectly fine. The reason I didn't make this an asynchronous class is because I do want some sort of schedule, steady schedule. where I can, meet with you guys. You have access to, ask me questions um, at a regular time. I will always be doing the class at this time. And I suppose that's, I wanted to also make sure that you had a, I don't want to make, I don't want to say like shorter. I wanted to make sure that you had, a certain amount of time on your quizzes and exams. So quizzes and exams are going to be done within this time frame. So Monday, on a quiz day or an exam day, that's when you have to be here, doing your work. All right, does everyone sort of get that? I'm trying to see where everyone is. Okay. All right. Now let's move over to another screen. And we'll go like this. If anyone has any questions, shout it out. Go to Canvas. This is what my Canvas looks like. Let's sort of walk through where everything is. When you do get access, or in fact, everyone can try this right now. In Canvas, can you go down to where it says Macmillan Learning? It should be the very bottom tab for you guys. Let me go like this. So the very bottom where it says Macmillan Learning. So you're going to click on that. And you should click on Achieve. Just the very top tab right there. What is everyone seeing? Because I'm trying to understand myself so I could, email some people. You should preferably see a course. Phys4A, mechanics and wave motion. You guys are walking through, what are you saying?
It says nothing to do with this week, but I see the physics for the other class.
So you see where you see Phys4A, mechanics and wave motion?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So if I do this is just literally me troubleshooting right now. So let me try this. I'm going to make something. I'm going to assign something. No one freak out if anything pops up. Okay, so okay, I see 0, 7. All right. On my end, I see you guys program. So you all should, or at least 7 of you. I don't know why there's only 7. Let me compare. Yeah. John. Drake. So I think the only one not enrolled in this is, am I getting this? It's Jammy T.
Yeah, I just barely woke up. My alarm didn't go off on time as I wanted it to, and
Oh, that's fine.
sorry about late.
No, it's fine. If you can, could you go to Canvas,
Yeah, I'm here.
and while you're in there for Phys4A, on the side, could you go to the bottom link that says Macmillan Learning?
Mhm.
Okay, so you've clicked on that, and then you should click on the top that says Achieve. And that will be sort of the place for the homework.
Okay, alrighty.
So let me see if you are doing that. I should be able to see you.
Okay, I have it up, I believe.
There you are. All right, awesome. I got everyone. That would have been a nightmare with like 40 people. Okay. All right, thanks. So for homework, I have this thing assigned. I'm going to change the due dates to Monday, but the problems in here are you know based on this first chapter and the second chapter. So if you feel you can move ahead of me, by all means go ahead, and you could get things done beforehand. Let me, in fact, I'll show you around a little bit on this website. I'm sure everyone is sort of savvy enough to figure it out on their own. When you're in Achieve, you'll see that, okay, let's go here. When you're in here, let's go student preview. Okay, you should have an ebook right here. You can go chapter by chapter. You can download the ebook to your computer or your phone. I'm getting all of the pop-ups now, but you have full access to the whole thing. Okay. You could click on the chapters, go to a specific unit, chapter 1 or chapter 2. You could maybe get ahead of me this way, but you have full access to the book. Something that's, they were showing me when introduced me to Achieve is when you highlight something. Say I want to highlight, this line right here. Where is it? I can highlight a specific color, and I just highlighted the whole page. But things that I highlight automatically go to a specific notebook section right here at the top. So you can highlight as you go, collect the information you need as you go. And I thought that was pretty cool. And there's plenty other stuff that you guys can figure out in this sort of ebook program. All right. Awesome. With that, I think I've finally gotten caught up. Yeah, so here we go. Let me close all of this. And again, so now that we're going to actually get started. I'm not taking attendance. I'm going to be recording the sessions every time. And I'm going to be posting the videos sort of right as I finish. If you guys ever have questions, you can ask during the, this meeting time, or you can email me later on. But since I'm not taking attendance and it is so early, I don't know if I guess I shouldn't say. It's going to be you guys can just watch the videos if you would prefer. Let me get page. And also, like, I'm sort of doing this to punish myself because I want to practice giving a lecture. In person, I can't just, wave off a full lecture. And then if I was to do asynchronous, I don't know if you guys have done an asynchronous class before, but it is sort of the thing of posting videos a lot, and you can sort of edit and redo something where you didn't explain it correctly the first time, and that's sort of like a safety net that I was trying not to have while doing this. All right. Now, while I have everyone here to begin with, I'm going to start my notes. I'll typically post the video, and I'll also post my notes later, in the day, on the day that I actually work on them. Okay, so all right, what time is it? 8:40. All right. Since we are going so quickly through the semester also, I'm going to be following closely to the notes. I might bring up an example or, a different way to think about it from the book. But a lot of what I'm going to be talking about is, step by step by step of what you're going to see in the book. So if you don't like that, you can ask me a question, outside of the class or maybe at the end of the class time. And if you do show up, you can always ask in the moment. But I'm going to kind of keep it, rigid in how the book goes through its work. So section 1.1, just sort of an introduction. Physics. This is probably you guys' first physics class. Physics comes from a Greek word meaning knowledge of the natural world. I don't really need to write. Yeah, so physics is the study of matter and its motion through time and space. Let's write that one. Study and these notes, I'm going to try to handwrite as we go, but if it starts taking too long, I might have some things already prepared. Study of matter. and its motion. Through time and space. It is the most fundamental of sciences, of all the natural sciences. Using the language of mathematics. So physics is a description of nature. Physics is a description of nature and surroundings, your observations, all of this, like say, description of nature, which uses mathematics to be as exact as possible. Something I've heard around is that mathematics is the language of the universe. So all things sort of embody something that is described in math. And, using physics sort of strings those properties together and sort of makes sense of them. So, how does that ball fly through the air? How can I describe that without, uh, just saying with words? How can I not just describe how the ball flies through the air? How can I predict where it will land before I even throw it? This is the power of physics. So let me get on to some units. It's going to be 1.2. And to describe things in nature, that ball flying through the air, we need a way to be consistent. If one person observes something and tries to relate that to, other people, they need to have something to compare it to. So let me go like this. Here we go. To describe things in nature. There we go. In nature, we need a way to be consistent. We need a shared system of units, or I say, in order to communicate clearly. think I will, prepare some of these beforehand, because if I go fast, you guys can't read it. And that's not good. So in order to communicate clearly, we need a shared system of units. So this is where someone's trying to describe something about something they see in nature, something about physics. And they hold up, I don't know, they hold up this coffee cup and they say, this coffee cup is 5. They just give it a number. Well, that doesn't really communicate the message that they're trying to give. 5 what? How does the other person know what they're talking about? 5, inches tall, 5 inches around. It can hold 5 liters. It can hold 5 golf balls. What are they trying to communicate? This was $5. I don't know. So we need a shared system of units. This is where we start having marks on a stick, sort of like a ruler. I have a regular ruler here, regular wooden ruler with inches, and I have a metal one with centimeters on. That's also, you can see the problems that can arise there. So one person says, oh, it's 5. It's that tall. The other person says, no, it's 5. It's actually very small. It's, that big. So there needs to be a shared system. This is where we have the SI units. SI units were defined to be common for everyone. They're common and they're solid. They're not going to change. So we have SI units. So this is International System of Units. I believe it's French. That's why it's SI instead of IS. So SI units, they're established for the scientific community. For scientific community. Before this, there was, everyone just kind of had their own system of units. There's the imperial system of units of foot and inches. And I believe, the saying of something as 1 foot is because of a king in England somewhere, sometime, actually measured his foot and said, all measurements are based on this because I am the king. There is going to be a whole system of measurements based around, my proportions. So, that's crazy trying to relate, one system from, one area to another. How do you translate, something that you see? So there are common system of units now. There's a system to measure length, mass, time, electric current, temperature, the amount of a substance, and luminous intensity. So I'm not going to write all those out. I will write down the ones that we're actually going to be needing for this class. So there's an SI unit for time. That is sort of the least shocking. It is the second. And the symbol is just S. So was at one point was related to an Earth Day, to an Earth Day, however, since we've started studying the Earth's rotation more closely, we've figured out that the Earth is actually slowing down as it's been spinning. So the days are gradually getting longer and longer. Now this is, way out of something we can observe with, just our eyes or our, human intuition. It's going to be, thousands of years before maybe we'll have like an extra minute in, an Earth Day. So time can't be related to Earth spinning anymore because that's changing. The Earth is gradually getting longer and longer. Does that mean we have to change all of our calculations? We have to change all of our sort of things we've discovered just because the Earth is getting slower? That's doesn't seem feasible. We can't just keep changing all of our results to match the Earth rotating. So what we are now basing the second for, it is related to, I'm going to say it was related to an Earth Day. I'm going to say now related to frequency of a cesium atom. Now, if you guys get a bit more into physics, or maybe you even, if you take physics 4C, you'll learn a bit more about atoms, or maybe even just some chemistry classes. But sort of have a, vibration, a frequency, and it's just sort of a counting of this one atom. And they're just saying this thing will, oscillate, 10 times, and that's 1 second, and that will always be the case. So it's more permanent. Okay, time. What else? Length is a meter. Length, meter, the unit is m. It's usually a lowercase m. All right, it was at one point, like all things, it's sort of, with good intentions. It was related from the distance from the equator moving up to the North Pole. So it was like you measure from the equator on Earth, and you go directly to the North Pole. I don't have a ball to sort of show this. I have a light bulb. So going from the equator, it's sort of right on the edge, sort of right around the center. the edge, you go all the way up to the North Pole. And it was like you take that distance, you take a little chunk of it, and you figure out what a meter is. So related to the distance from equator to North Pole. But I'm sure you can see that is a difficult thing to measure accurately. This is just light bulb. From the very center of the equator, you have to measure from there to the North Pole. How are you going to measure that accurately? You have to go from the center, around some rainforests. You'll have to go up, sail around somewhere, and try to always be measuring accurately. It's very difficult. So in order to make it more permanent or more stable of measurements, it's now related to a distance that light travels in a specific amount of time. I should put was up here because it is now and now related to a that light travels. In a given amount of time. Okay, and the final one that we're going to be doing is mass. The SI unit for mass is kilogram. Now you might notice, why isn't it just a gram and not, kilogram? Why is there already this sort of prefix in front of it? I should first put the unit for kilogram is kg. So there was something before SI units. There was what's called CGS units. That was sort of the warm up to SI units. In CGS units, it was gram, and I believe meter and seconds also for length and time. But as more scientific discoveries came along, it just became easier for a lot of the math to already have things in kilograms. There's just a lot of decimal points because a gram is tiny. A single gram, I don't know, I don't have anything that small right now. It's tiny amount. A kilogram is something actual moderate size. I don't have anything sort of to represent a kilogram. Sort of like a small dumbbell is around a kilogram. Now originally a kilogram was related to the mass of 1 liter of water at 4 degrees Celsius. I'll just say right now, I'm running out of room. I'll just say now related to a specific platinum iridium alloy cylinder. Now, why is it this specific material, platinum? It's because it won't rust away. It won't fade. This specific alloy is highly resistant to rust. Platinum and iridium. So like, think of it somewhere, think of it like in a bank vault somewhere. Each country has one of these platinum iridium cylinders. It's in a sort of sealed place. It's in a glass jar. There is this measurement of 1 kilogram, and that is something that will never fade. And many countries have one, and they always compare to make sure that they're all staying exactly the same amount of mass. So this is where I step back for a bit and just sort of describe these. I don't feel like I have to describe time. It's just sort of a passing of observations in space. Length is just sort of a physical measurement of something. It's, how much space does a thing take up? And mass, you can think of it as how much stuff is crammed into this object. So how many atoms of platinum iridium are in this cylinder? So there's 1 kilogram worth. So whenever we talk about mass, we're not actually talking about weight. So mass and weight are just ever so slightly different. Weight is a force that we'll talk about later when we go over forces. Big thing of mass is as like how many atoms are in this object. Okay. That. Okay. I think, let me go over quickly some powers of 10. So we already have kilogram. What does kilo mean? There's a chart in your book that sort of shows this. Let me just put it up on the screen. I knew beforehand I didn't want to write this whole thing out. Let's go like this. New page. So we see that in the tens place, there can be just a meter. I'm sorry, in the ones place, think of these as, 1 meter. That's manageable. That is about, can't really get it all on screen. It's about that big. 10 meters, that is about the size of a, I don't know, 4-story building. These are powers of 10 or orders of magnitude. Think of things increasing. There's just adding another 0 to this value. So I'm going to write out something and I'll bring that back. So powers of 10. So most common for this class, I knew I wanted to write this out. There is kilo, which means 1,000. 1,000. It's represented with 10 raised to the 3rd power. So think of it like as 10 cubed, which also equals just 1,000. There is centi. These are the prefixes up here. That means 100, 100th. DTH. That is 10 to the minus 2. Now, centi, when you think of this minus 2, it's like smaller than 1. Whenever there's a minus in the exponent, you think of it as this thing is progressively getting smaller and smaller. But that is 0.01. A good way to think about this is there's 1 cent right here, but as soon as you have 100 cents, think of it like a penny. So this is 1 penny right here. As soon as you have 100 pennies, you have $1. That is basically why they're called cents. Then there's milli, which is a 1,000th. To be clear, there's a TH. And this is 10 to the minus 3. And just like the centi before, there is this is something that's getting progressively smaller. So this means it's a smaller decimal point. Let me do this is just sort of like example room up here. So if I have 1, and let's go through 1,000. So times 10 to the 3rd. So I'm taking that 1 and I'm moving the decimal point to the right. 1, 2, 3. That's how we end up at 1,000 right here. If I have 1 times 10 to the minus 2 for centi, I'm taking that 1 and I'm moving it left. So positive means to the right, negative means moving the decimal point to the left. So decimal points right here. I'm moving it left 2. So 1, 2. That's how we end up with centi. And it's very easy. Going to milli. I'm just moving it left 3. That's how to easily maneuver through all of these prefixes. There's way more than I'm doing right now. So there are 2 zeros. Milli. Okay, I think I'll leave conversions for later. So things, let me just do a little recap before we end for today. I'm going to later today, you could go on to that Achieve website and you'll see that assignment and they'll have an updated due date. It's going to be due on Monday. All right, this upcoming Monday. That's all of the work in there is going to be due. That also means the quiz is also going to be on Monday. So make sure everyone's good on that. Something I'm going to be doing from now on is I'm going to prepare a few things I have to write out beforehand, so I don't have to write all of the stuff down. Sort of taking up a bit of my time. And the last thing to check up with everyone on is that not taking attendance. So don't worry about if you're late or not. I will be here recording the session. If you want to take notes in person and ask questions, that is, an awesome time to do it, because then I'll have an opportunity to help everyone watching the video. But with that, does anyone have any questions for me after the first day?
Yeah, I have one.
Yeah.
So we still have the option to. So you're gonna be doing this every day, right? Every day, 8 o'clock, right?
Yeah. So I'll be, just, steamrolling through notes.
Okay. All right. I just want to double check with that.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna have all of the stuff prepared. I might have chunks of the notes already done. Because I'm realizing I'm just writing sloppily when I have to write quickly. So I will also, yeah, I'm gonna post video later, and I'm gonna post cleaned up versions of these notes later on Canvas. So everything's gonna be on Canvas for the class. Other than that, does anyone have any questions? If you do end up having a question, or you need to ask me something, or you need help with something, you could always email me too. All right. It's been a nice, fun day. I'm sure we'll get used to some of this pretty quickly, but otherwise I'll see you guys later then.
Okay. Have a nice day.
Thanks. You too.